There was an AI startup, $1.5 billion AI startup called builder.ai. And it turns out it was 700 Indian engineers. They raised all this money and it was supposed to be a magical AI that could help you build the app that you wanted. It was just 700 Indian engineers they were outsourcing to. And it got shut down. This is an interview with the guy before it was found out to be a scam. First of all, with a shirt like that, how could he be a scammer?
I think it's when you think about language models, they need access to information, and that's sort of a precursor because they need to assimilate like a pattern of thinking or a pattern of prediction, so that they can at least.
Just want to be clear, just so you know, as this guy is answering his questions, he does not have an AI technology at all. He's just hired 700 Indian engineers for below market wages to build the apps of people that want it.
I thought you'd be interested to talk to you about this as well, because a lot of what builder.ai does is kind of give people a way of building apps without having to know coding or AI or whatever themselves. And often it'll say, okay, you can build an app like the New York Times. You can build an app like Facebook's. You can build an app like Amazon's.
Well, so I think that's a really good point, right? And so number one, we don't replicate what someone else might be doing. We don't.
Dude, yes, you do. Wait, you literally say the name of the app you can yoink. That's so funny. Wait, so the website is just Builder AI. They show you different types of apps you can yoink. They charge you 30 grand plus, and they outsource it all to Indian engineers to rip it off. That's crazy.
So we don't really enter this world of plagiarism. We don't really enter this world of you're actually building a copy of XYZ. What we're simply saying is, help us describe what is in your mind that you're trying to build. And when most people describe that, they will describe it by using references of things that they already know exist. And, and that becomes a stepping stone for how they think about it.
That's kind of funny. This guy just had like a low-cost, farmed-out app development shop, of which there's many, many, many. And he turned it into an AI company by changing the name. Like, he actually just took a pretty common business model, and by doing the exact same thing but calling it an AI, he raised $1 billion from Microsoft. It's actually kind of a slick little scam. Yeah, if he was more vague about the AI, if he was like, yeah, we have some AI features, and they added like some random crap. The startup attracted $445 million in investments from major IT giants over 8 years. At the same time, the application's, quote, written by AI constantly glitched. The code was unreadable. The functions did not work. It was like real artificial intelligence. They did their job, they made it seem real. After the deception was exposed, the startup officially went bankrupt. That's funny. If it wasn't going to work anyway, they should just use AI and done no fraud. Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, they probably couldn't even have built it with... I mean, you got to assume even the engineers are probably using some AI. Were there consequences for the guy? I don't know. I don't know if he walked away with any money. I don't know how much cash he got versus equity, and the company's worthless. He stepped down as CEO of the company, but he remained on the board and kept his title of Chief Wizard. Anybody who has a Chief Wizard title is a scammer. Just guaranteed. Oh my God, it was a British startup? No wonder. Oh my God, dude. His clothing choices say it all. Look at this sweater. I'm giving that guy $1 billion? No way, dude. Whenever the tech guy's a hype beast, you know your VC money's getting burnt. If the tech guy you're investing in has like a fancy sneaker collection and hype beast shit, they are 100% using all your money to fly around to like South by Southwest and party. They're not building anything. It's not the critic who counts. Dougal posted on Instagram days after he was pushed out as chief executive of Builder AI. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena. Dude, tech scammers and the man in the arena speech is a tale as old as time. It's the beautiful peanut butter and chocolate combo. Same guy did it. The all-in guy. I'm blanking on his name. Chamath. Chamath also said man in the arena after he got scamming on all his SPAC investments. Like Virgin Galactic and all that shit. He used the same speech. Just weeks after he posted this famous Teddy Roosevelt quote, Builder AI would indeed fail in expected fashion. Builder AI claimed to use human-assisted AI, including a bot called Natasha, to quickly and cost-effectively build apps for customers. The technology did not work as promoted. It was essentially nothing more than smoke and mirrors. Nice. The product had barely even begun to develop. Instead, it relied heavily on contractors in India. They told investors apps were 80% built by the product that they didn't even have. At a 2020 conference, Dougal said AI doesn't mean another Indian. Dude, he's narking on himself. Oh my God. He actually said it while doing the opposite. That's crazy. Oh, he's also wanted for fraud in India? Oh, this guy's got a record, huh? Big news, I'm live on Intro. Intro is a website where you can spend, it's like Cameo, but for like 20 to 30 minutes to talk with somebody who's supposed to give you advice. So he failed spectacularly, committed a bunch of fraud, and is now expecting. How much does he cost? Let's find out. Could I pay to interview him on stream? It would cost. Oh, they deleted it. They deleted him. They deleted his page. Read someone's message? Whose message? What, when, where, why? We have an insider? Holy guacamole. I used to work for this guy. He's nothing but a liar and a scammer. He lied to all of us. I worked there in 2019. Can I call you in? Ask a couple questions? I'm calling you. I'm calling you. Yo.
Yo.
Your name's Scott?
My name is indeed Scott.
Scott, good to meet you. So you worked for Dougal here.
Yeah. The short version is I worked there for about 6 months back in 2019.
Okay.
And yeah, he's a complete goober.
You wanted to say something else.
But yeah, I'll keep it peachy.
He's a goober, huh? And so you worked there for 6 months in 2019, which means you left pretty early before the scam was discovered. What made you do that?
So basically I got brought in to make it work. They had this idea of like what it would be.
Yeah.
But
and the idea was an AI that could build an app for you.
Right, exactly. They basically had this idea.
Yeah.
And then it didn't really work, but they had a sort of working POC, and they had a bunch of different consultants.
I mean, they had some working POCs, right? You know what I'm saying?
So exactly. A bunch of us in the LA office got brought in to try to actually make what they were selling work.
Okay.
Because up until then, it was definitely still everybody was
just
making
lying,
it.
Right? They were just lying. Yeah. They were just telling customers that it was AI, and then they were outsourcing it.
To be full transparency, I don't know what they were saying to customers that actually bought stuff.
Okay.
I don't know, because what I'd always heard was, oh, we're telling people that that we're actually still working on it, and like only some of it's automated and that sort of stuff. So I'm not exactly what they told people that were paying, but they definitely.
So we covered a bit of that. They were telling investors that the app was doing 80% of the work.
That, from my time there, that was definitely not the case. Like it was nothing. It was 100% done by humans. There was no automation working at all.
My big question is, how did you figure out he was a goober? How did you figure out he was a scammer? How did you leave?
I worked at a lot of startups. I got very good at seeing red flags.
Okay.
And so there was just red flag after red flag after red flag of like just really weird stuff that like the leadership team would say. And so one of the red flags is he actually came into the LA office because he was typically in London most of the time. The LA office was pretty small.
Okay.
So like the one time he came into the LA office, he like just started asking people just to do random stupid stuff around the office. Like, hey, help me like pull these cables over here and we're going to move these cables. He asked me to like get the Apple TV working to show some video. And it was like, bruh, I'm trying to like make your shit work and you're asking me to like do IT. Like that's not like, so that's kind of, there was a lot of like red flags like that where you're just asking people to like not do their job. And you know, at this point, like they still had all the people in India and all the people in London.
Yeah.
So you're talking, I don't know, 100-ish people are on payroll at this point, and like you're asking random people that are like your main developers to do like this like really silly work.
Sure.
As things were going along, it wasn't getting very smooth, and it was just kind of getting silly. The thing that kind of like made me start looking for another job after only like 6 months was I forget which executive it was, but the comment was made, oh, it's really expensive to have people in Los Angeles. And I was like, well, that's not something that a $1 million company says.
Right? Yeah. That's a company gearing up for layoffs or like move. Yeah.
So I left in like January of 2020, and then they completely shut down the LA office, I think in April of 2020, which was like obviously half pandemic, half it was a scam.
Yeah.
But still, it was like they laid off the entire office in April.
April of 2020 is when he went on stage and said AI doesn't stand for always Indian or whatever, and then was hiring a bunch of Indian engineers. So
yes, because they definitely shut down everything. Yeah, they shut down all of Los Angeles. So then then they stopped operating out of the US as far as I know, and they moved everything to London and India.
At the end of the day, good for you, bro. You got out early rather than wasting 4 years earning equity for a company that was going to implode. So that's
exactly. Yeah.
All right, bro. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Good to see an on the ground experience. We got an actual employee of the W Chatter. Thank you very much.